Hey guys, today we are going to be discussing some various saws that we have that specifically that came from Harbor Freight. Now, if you are a regular of the channel, you might be wondering, didn't you just do some saw videos? And the answer is, yes, that is correct. But here's what happened. So I have to tell you a quick little story. And if you aren't interested in this, you can skip ahead. I will put the chapters in the description. And once I get into editing, I'll try to pop the time up on the screen as well so that you can jump ahead if you don't want to hear this story. So here is what has happened. So I shared over on our other channel, Second Mile Journey, here on YouTube, some personal information, some mental health issues going on with a family member of mine. So if you would like to know more about that, you can check the Second Mile Journey channel for more information on that. However, I also shared that I did go back to work full-time outside of the YouTube channel. I don't start that job until November 11th, but it is a work-at-home job. So right now I'm trying to get the office reorganized and ready for me to utilize this as my work office outside of just YouTube. So all of that going on. So today, for the past 48 hours, I have been in deep video editing mode, trying to get as many videos edited and uploaded and scheduled out as I possibly can. So right now, our upload routine has been Wednesday mornings. That's when we post our videos. And by the way, if you don't mind, let me know in the comments, when is your most regular time to check YouTube? Is it daily? Is it a certain day of the week? Let me know in the comments, because that would really help me to know when I should post that works best for our actual subscribers or just our actual viewers, even if you aren't subscribed yet. But why aren't you? It's free. And you're helping us out so that we can continue to grow this channel. So now, let me get back to where I was going with that. So in doing all of this editing, I had already finished a video over the Admiral miter saw from Harbor Freight. And then I did a video over the Bauer circular saw from Harbor Freight. I edited them. Art actually did the videos. I just did the recording and the editing. Those are already scheduled out on the channel. I am done with those videos. Okay guys, my other camera ran out of memory, so I had to switch cameras. So if the footage looks different or sounds different, that's why, so I apologize. I had to go back to work because we had used up all of the savings that we had set back. And so it was time. I needed to be making an income, because so far we've invested a lot of money into these channels, but we don't have anything coming in yet. So that is why I needed to get back to work. But we love doing these videos for you guys. We love working on these channels, and we didn't want to lose the momentum because we are growing. It's very slow, but we are growing. And we didn't want to lose that momentum. And I was worried that once I go back to work full time, I wouldn't have the time to focus on the videos like I would like to. So I'm trying to get as many as I possibly can recorded and uploaded and scheduled out, just so that I don't have to worry about it in case, you know, I get overwhelmed at work. And then, of course, with the holidays and everything too. Although I am still going to be trying to do the videos weekly, and I'll always be in the comments and everything. So please don't let that steer you away from our channel, please. We are really counting on this for our future, for our family's future. And we just have so much to share, and we know God wants to share our story. He's been writing a beautiful story through us, and it's slowly opening to the world. So we just have a lot more to share with you. So anyway, as I was editing videos today, I discovered this footage that I forgot to include in the previous video. So today's video is just going to be this footage that we did not have in the previous two videos. But if you haven't seen those two videos, I will link both of them at the end. And if it will let me, I'll link it up here too, or link one of them up here anyway. And let me know in the comments if you're more interested in the miter saw or the circular saw. And as you'll see, we also mention possibly doing some different saw videos in the future. So if you have specific questions about any type of saw, or if you want to see any type of comparison or anything like that, please let us know. One thing I would like to do is to create a video showing what types of projects you can make with each type of saw. So of course that's going to be very in-depth and detailed. So I would like to know first if anyone is even interested in that before we spend that much time on such an in-depth video. So do let me know about that. And now, without further ado, let's get into today's content.
Thought I would mention something about the different blade types that you may use on some of these saws. You can see the difference in this blade versus the teeth on this blade. Well, you might be asking yourself, why the different teeth on these blades? Well, there again, going back to having the right tool to do the job is critical. If you're someone who's familiar with plywood or sheetrock, with the finer teeth, you're going to have less dust and it's going to make a cleaner cut. So the example that I used using the plywood with my other saw a moment ago, the handsaw, was made with, or I cut it with a teeth like this, which is more for wood and your framing construction saw blade. It's going to cut through it faster. It's just going to be more efficient. You would not want to cut a piece of 4x4 with this blade, unless you're wanting to do it over the next week. Then that's okay. This is the tool you'll need for that. So plywood, this blade.
Wait, let me get down, do that again.
For plywood, you'll want to use a plywood blade or sheetrock blade. And for your larger cuts and 2x4s, 2x3s, whatever, you'll want to use this type of saw blade.
Okay.
And if you'll look over here to this saw, that was the problem I had earlier also, is that I did not have the right size blade, but I also had a sheetrock blade or a plywood blade, and it just, I would not recommend that blade on this unit.
Okay.
Unless you're wanting to take really long on your project, then you might.
Okay, so what about the sizes? Is that based on the saw itself?
It's based on the tool that you're going to use, exactly. So if you'll look at this handsaw that I just used, that's a 4-inch blade, a 4-inch wood blade. That's the difference in that, of course.
So every blade that you ever get for that, no matter what the project, you're always going to look for a 4-inch?
4-inch blade,
okay.
Right. Here's a good point to mention. For an example, this blade is actually 7¼ inch blade. It depends on the saw, again, the tools you're going to be using. This 12-inch blade that is on this miter saw is not,
Whoa,
I almost lost it, is not the blade that you would want to put on your skill saw. You can see.
Well, and first of all, it wouldn't even fit.
No, it won't. You can put this on this unit, this type of blade, or this one.
But and that's what those blades are for, right?
Yes,
one of those type of saws?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can make sure you check the size that you're using. Let me mention this, because this is an electric saw, skill saw, and it's slightly bigger, and reason being it's electric. However, look at the difference in the blade size.
Yeah.
There's a slightly different, bigger blade for this one. You need to find out and make sure what size saw that you're going to be using, and find the proper blade that's appropriate for your model and unit.
And we'll do it in a different video, but we should talk about those two saws because they are similar. We could do a comparison um, on them because one's battery operated and one's electric.
Yes. Now, let me mention as far as changing blades on any unit, doesn't matter if it's battery operated or electric, make sure the thing is powered off and unplugged. I just would rather
Yeah,
have it
so
unplugged.
if it's battery operated, just take the battery out, right?
Exactly, yes. Okay, that's out. Now, I think, baby, you're going to have to come over here. Wait, no,
Okay.
hang on. No, you're not. All right. So now we're going to change the blade out on this 12-inch miter saw. You'll have to release the shroud.
What's the shroud?
The shroud is your protectant that's going to keep you from keeping all 10 fingers at the end of the project as you started at the first of the project. So by removing the shroud back, this will show and expose the bolt in order to take the
Okay, I see.
saw off.
Yeah.
Saw blade.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to change the blade out on this miter saw by unloosening this small unloosening. I'll have a lot of made up words in this episode, by the way. So, all right.
I'm trying to remember, what was it you said to me earlier? You told me to what was it? What was it when we were leaving the
I
restaurant?
forgot.
It was funny.
It was. All right, so now that I've got this shroud somewhat locked into place, you access the bolt for the unit to the blade right in the dead center. Comes with your Allen wrench. If I can see where to put that in there. Okay, now
Oh, yeah,
on this side, you have the locking pin, which is located on the opposite side of the saw here towards the bottom of the handle. And this is simply pushed in as you are turning your Allen wrench to loosen the bolt to remove the saw.
Okay, so let go of it and push it again. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see that, but in fact, let's try that.
There we go. Yeah.
So
okay.
Now, okay, push that down. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, right?
Yep.
Except I don't know which left and right. Okay. All right. So there we go. All right. Release that. There you go.
Good. Okay. Now show us how to put it back on. Show what
You
you were
wanna-
talking about with the teeth earlier too.
Well, the teeth are facing on the outward, so that way on the outside of the saw, so it actually cuts into the wood. Had it not, if you'll look at this better this way, here you go. See how you want the teeth to bite into the wood to make the cut. If the saw was turned around the opposite direction, it would take you all month. So installing the saw correctly or the blade correctly is a must. Okay, I got that back in place. This washer is notched out to fit the notches on the unit. That way it will hold it in place and it will cause the saw to suck up against the saw itself and keep it stabilized. So then let's match this on here. There we go. Seems like the light's really dim, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to cross thread this thing ever. If you do that, cross thread it, meaning is where your threads on your screw, you think it's going in, but it's going in at an angle. It will just ruin your threads and could ruin your unit.
Is that how you strip it?
It is how you can strip it. When you have something cross threaded like that and you continue to torque down on it, it will just continue to strip out the threads. All right, let me give it one more crank. Okay. And there you go. That's how you change your blade out on your miter saw.
Awesome. Okay, now we need to plug it in.
All right. As we mentioned earlier, as far as turning the unit on for safety reasons, you cannot start the unit without pressing either the left button on the left or the right button on the right. The two buttons on top of the unit, the one furthest to the handle on the left, is a laser. So let me show you. Let me lift this up. And there's your laser that you can see. It tells you exactly where your blade is going to be cutting.
Okay.
So if I bring that down to wherever the light is, that's where your cut's going to be. The other button on the right of the laser is just a general purpose work light.
Nice.
So on the back of the saw, you can see your other 45-degree angles when you want to cut. Let's see if I can remember this. So you cut left to right. I think we covered that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is nice to see the things there to know.
And it also on this grid shows you the 45-degree cut at an angle from left to right.
Okay.